Good morning, everybody. You tuned in to Cragcore. Today is Saturday, the 19th of August. Thank you for being here with me today. And what a glorious day it is. It's absolutely lovely out here. It's probably not going to be lovely later on, though. I've heard there's a heat wave coming. But we'll see. But anyway, today we're going to be talking about, as we don't kill a squirrel there. Today we're going to be talking about treating people as individuals, because I touched somewhat on this in a previous video recently with regards to, it was the why respect is important. But I kind of like to go into that a little bit more, because everybody's an individual case. You know, everybody is an individual person. We've all got our own life journey that we've experienced, meaning we all have our very own perspective and therefore perceptions. And we're all individuals because of it. So, quite simply, not everybody who wears a certain type of clothing is going to be a certain type of person. Not everybody who drives a certain type of car is going to be a certain type of person. You know, that's just the way of it. You come across a lot of this type of attitude of, you know, treating people as a fleet as opposed to as an individual. In the working environment, have you found that? I know that I have. A lot of the time, you know, historically as well. Back in the day, man, you know, I worked a few crazy jobs, factory type stuff, and people just get treated like robots, man. Now, you can program a bunch of robots. That's fair enough, of course. And you can have them all doing the same thing at the same time. But human beings, man, we're all individual. And in the workplace, they tend to just treat you as a fucking robot that is supposed to do what everybody else does. You know, if you can't particularly, you know, if you can't do something that, say, the person next to you can do, because you find it difficult for reasons A, B, and C. You know, there's lots of defining factors, isn't there? So, what these employers will most likely do is say, well, it's doable. Well, yes. I dare say anything is doable given the correct set of circumstances, my friend. You know, like, a man can fly to the moon given the right set of circumstances. So to say that somebody else, I mean, don't get me wrong, it is a positive mental attitude, of course, to say that, well, if they can do it, that means I can do it. And theoretically speaking, that is true. If another human being has done it, then theoretically speaking, so can you. But you would have to adopt the same set of circumstances, wouldn't you? For the most part. Because if it takes that set of circumstances to get the job done, so to speak, well, then it stands to reason that that same set of circumstances would have to be adhered to in order for the next person to have to do it. So this is my, I guess, attempt at empowering those of you that have had this type of browbeating, shall we say. I was going to say bullying, but it's not often that it does revert into bullying. It can do. Of course it can. When the browbeating doesn't work, they tend to resort to bullying and use bully tactics in order to beat you down so that you submit. But ultimately, this is my attempt at trying to empower those of you who have encountered this type of mentality, or perhaps are encountering it right now, or may do in the future. I think, simply put, the correct response is, that's them and this is me. I'm an individual. You know, I'm not that guy. If you want it done like that, ask that guy. There's many responses, because especially people in the workplace will put on you and put on you and put on you and treat everything like it's your responsibility. You know, because you're the boots on the ground, you know, you're the fucking grassroots working man, you know, and shit rolls downhill. I think that's basically it. Shit rolls downhill. So these folks will just fucking pile all their crap and responsibility on your shoulders. For instance, let's just say you're working on a production line. They give these people, certain folks, they give them positions such as supervisor. Now this person gets paid more than you, and they've apparently got more responsibility and more more power within the workforce, because they're now telling you what to do. It's a bit like a military type of operation at this point, isn't it? You know, they've got a company of 8 people and they'll get the job done, sir. You know, we'll screw 10,000 lids onto 10,000 bottles and then some, sir. Basically, what this is it's a shit rolls downhill scenario. Because surely, let's just say, only 9,000 bottles, or perhaps 8. Let's just say there's an event in the factory, and only 7,000 bottles get their lids screwed onto them that day. You're 3,000 short. Where does it go? Where does that onus go? Well, on the workers, of course. The supervisor comes round and starts kicking the fucking shit out of you, saying, you know, verbally, of course. Maybe in some places physically. Shouting, saying, we've got to get these out, blah, blah. And now it's up to everybody to do overtime. Now it's up to everybody to stay behind and make sure the order is fulfilled. I say shit should roll uphill, because they are the one who's taken on the responsibility of that position. You know, the person above the supervisor who's, you know, like the overboss. And then you move up to things like site manager and all of this. Where's their telling off? All they do is shout at the people below them and do less work themselves. You know? It's really bad, actually, when you think about it. It's like, well, you've taken on the responsibility of saying that you can get this done. If the workforce has failed you, well, then there's quite clearly an individual reason for that. Because they're not all robots running off fucking diesel. You know, each individual person that works that production line has their very own set of circumstances. And if it's an event that's happened in the factory, then so be it. These things, no one can get around this. But let's just say, I don't know, Mavis has had the day off because her husband's got fucking cancer. You know? Deirdre's had to have the day off because she's going to have some dentures fitted. Morris, he's having a catheter. You know, Dave fell off his push bike on the way to work. He's got a sore thumb, so he can't screw any caps on. You know, or perhaps, you know, Jeeves, his missus just had a baby. He's tired. You know? Maybe fucking, I don't know, Jimmy's mum's fucking a heroin addict. She kept him up all night, fucking banging on his door asking for money. Because he's the only one who works in the fucking family. You see the picture that's being painted. Everybody has lives, man. Not everybody can work all out all the time to fulfill some twat's fucking list of jobs that need doing so they can get the praise. Because everybody's an individual case. Now, don't get me wrong. I ain't saying that, you know, Geezer at the top isn't an individual case. He might have had a bad day as well. But see, this is the point. In a dominance hierarchy, which is where we live today, it's indoctrinated into all of us that we follow rules, that we listen to the boss, and if you've been put in a position where you're now the boss, well then that gives you the right to fucking kick the shit downhill, so on and so forth. When really, if we were part of a different type of system, like a progressive hierarchy, rather than a dominance one, well then, ultimately, people would talk more, first and foremost. They would, wouldn't they? People would talk more. You'd have the boss asking how everybody is that day, what if there's anything anybody needs. Let's all work together, you know. Who feels like they're stronger at this today and stronger at that today? Everybody would try and work to each other's strengths. And if anybody had any weaknesses, there would be some form of system in place so as to help that person progress through those weaknesses so they're no longer weaknesses at all. Because there'd be an investigative process on how their weaknesses in the first place. Perhaps fucking, I don't know, Deirdre's fat. And the reason why she's fat is because, you know, she's fucking miserable and she just can't help but eat. Perhaps she's in an abusive relationship, or perhaps she had an abusive relationship and she's so fucking terrified of people getting close to her because she doesn't want to be abused again. So what she does is she fucking piles on the weight so that physically and emotionally nobody can get closer to her. And people repel themselves from her at first glance, you know? But it's causing her to be hindered in the workplace. She can't get close enough to the production line, brother. You know, she can't reach the bottles to screw the caps on. She finds it really difficult. Her back hurts. So, you know, she's a weak link at that point. So how do you turn her into a strong one? Because she's a valid human being. She needs money to live, of course, as we said in the other video. Be as a bird. We're all forced into this fucking modern slavery system where we pay to live on a planet Earth where everything is free. Fuck me. The sun provides everything you need, man. The crops that you eat, fuck's sakes, they're grown. They're not bought. You don't pay God, do you? Here, God, here's 50 quid. Chuck us a couple of fucking cabbage, would ya? It's fucking ridiculous. But we're all here and we're all supposed to fucking pay to live. So, you know, even fucking Mavis has got to earn a living. So anyway, she's fucking too fat. She can't get close to the production line. Her back hurts because she's bending over all day. She's sweating because she's putting herself in stress positions. Now she's miserable. She eats more. It makes the fucking process even worse. Everybody fucking hates her. So she eats more. It makes the problem worse. Because no one's treating her as an individual. They're just saying, you're supposed to do this job. So you do this fucking job. Just as well as fucking, I don't know, Robert down the line there, who's a whippet. You know, 18-year-old Robert who's a fucking whippet. This is what I'm saying, man. Like, nobody treats everybody as an individual case. Now, in that position, you might get that woman and say, look, how can we help here? You know, is there something we can do? This is a multi-million, maybe even a multi-billion fucking pound or dollar organisation here. Is there something we can do because we invest in our workers? You know, this is a progressive hierarchy that we're all a part of here, remember? So, what can you do for that woman? She's earning you millions of pounds by doing her job. She's living her life, the lion's share of it. More hours of the day are spent at work than anywhere else. You think about it. You get up in the morning, you have a fucking shit, a shave and a shower, you make some breakfast, you chuck it down your fucking neck, you get to work. You're there, what, 8, 10, 12 hours? Some people even spend 15 hours at work. There's only 24 hours in a fucking day. So you spend 15 hours at work. What's left? 9? You're supposed to sleep for 8. Well, where's the fucking hours that you need in the start and at the end of your shift? To get shit shaved, showered, fed, washed at the end, fucking fed again. Oh, well, he can do it. Fuck's sakes. But we spend all our time at work. So the least, you know, people can do. We spend all our time at work making other people rich. That's ultimately what our position is on this planet currently, because we're part of a dominance hierarchy where shit rolls down fucking hill. Shit shouldn't roll anywhere. It should just fucking stay where it is, if you ask me. But, you know, the shit rolls downhill now. But if you're in a part of a progression hierarchy, this company who you are spending your life working for, literally your life is spent for this company. The hours of your day that you'd rather be progressing yourself in some way, you're progressing somebody else and their lifestyle. You're sustaining and fulfilling somebody else's fucking fat cat lifestyle. So they can drive a fucking Bentley, you know, go and fucking squander money at strip clubs and drink champagne. At least that's what rap will tell you. But anyway, on point, the least that these people can do is treat you as an individual, where if there's something that you need help with, that needs to be kind of looked at, well, then they owe it to you. They fucking owe it to you. Think about what it is you're giving. They will make you, this system, as a matter of fact, will make you think that you're fucking worthless and that you have to go to work. You've got to be a slave to the fucking grind. And that's all you're ever fucking going to amount to. You know, Mr. Lee, you're always going to be a dishwasher. Did he fucking listen? No, he didn't. So, the least these people can offer you is something to help you out. you know, to benefit your life. Instead, they pay you minimum fucking wage. Minimum wage. They pay you the bare minimum of what the government sets. That is the basic living wage. So you're being held down just on the threshold of what's livable, based on, again, not the individual, but the commonly accepted standard of living, and asked to do as much work as fucking humanly possible for it. And if you've ever got any problems, all you get is, well, he can do it, so why can't you? What a fucking shit show. People, recognize your power. Stand up and be counted. Recognize your fucking power and realize what it is you are giving when you're giving your life. Because that's where we are, isn't it? We give our lives to these people, right? We give our lives to make other people's lives better. And we get fuck all in return. We get no respect. We don't get treated as an individual. It's just, you know. And if you get told too many times, well, he can do it, well, then it's fucking warning 1, 2, and 3, and you're out the fucking door. Because he can do it. What a fucking shame. So recognize your power, realize who you are, what you're doing and what you're giving, and demand some fucking some respect collectively. Form a union wherever you are. You don't need to sign on to an actual official union. I mean, if you can, then do it, fair enough. All a union is people that know the business, that are willing to stand for you, you know, and talk to your bosses. It's just a middleman, and you pay into that. Why don't you form your own unions? That's what I'd say. Wherever you are, if you're watching this, wherever you are, wherever you're working, get together with a few like-minded people. Talk about forming a union. It takes 6, 7, or 8. Think about how many people actually work there at that place where you work. What percentage of that workforce do you need to have on your side? Try and get more than that, because there will be people that fall by the wayside should the cookie crumble. And just fucking form a union, right? And become a collective voice. Wherever you work, become a collective voice. Remember, these people will fucking puff their chests out, and they'll try and put the willies in you. They'll try and fucking scare you. But when it comes down to it, who are they? Where are they? What are they without the workforce? Zero. Big fat fucking zero is what they are. They depend on all of you people going to work, busting a bollock, and they tell you that you're great for working twice as hard as that guy. So they can say, well, he can do it. What does that guy get for it? Fuck all. Nothing. He just gets a pat on the back. He gets to walk around, or she gets to walk around with a prefect badge on, making everybody else's lives harder. Where working your fingers to the bone for the same as everybody else is promoted as being a fucking something you should aspire to. Shit's rolling downhill, brother. And that's not how it should be. So speak to some like-minded people. If a union isn't for you, then simply get together. Start out with exchanging phone numbers. Get together, do a WhatsApp group. Just do something that unifies the people. and then start talking about the next step. Then start talking about how you're going to start turning things around. Because I guarantee you, unity is not what they want. Empower yourselves. And on that note, unify yourselves. And on that note, this is Cragcore, I'm signing off. Thank you for being here with me today. I'm going to wish love and peace to all things everywhere. Peace.